Expound!
Hello everyone, welcome to the Gaming Zone. I'm your host Chriz, aka The Mole, and this week this month is Sonic themed. This episode is my opinion on something which has divided the Sonic fanbase. Does Sonic need his friends? Personally, I'm of the opinion, and it's cool if you're on a different opinion, I'm of the opinion his friends are very needed, because just go back to the classics in the 2D ones with you had Tails and you had Knuckles, both playable in like Sonic 3. Both had unique gameplay styles. This isn't like a Mario style series where Luigi, there's not much difference between Mario and Luigi. I'm gonna be honest, I like the Mario games. Check out my other videos with some of them and you can see I love the Mario games. I also love the Sonic games. And that's the point with Sonic's friends. It's not that, oh, each one, oh look, this one I don't really like this guy's personality, or if they're not needed, it's a Sonic game. They are needed. Ever since Sonic 2, when they added Tails, they've added this element to the series which a lot of games don't have, where you can play through it one way, or you can play through it in a completely different style, where going into my favourite series of games, the adventure series, you had Knuckles being a treasure hunter, Tails was a race. In one of the adventure series, you had Amy solving puzzles by hitting stuff with a hammer. You had like the robot shooting stuff. You had Rouge doing some sort of treasure hunting stuff similar to Knuckles, but that was more of the bad guys were sort of doing the same stuff as the good guys, but it was still different gameplay styles. The closest you get to the same ones with the characters is something like Sonic and Shadow, which, yeah, that's a tough subject to the fanbase. Not a lot of people like Shadow, but honestly, when he was introduced in Adventure, not that bad. But it's more of this, we're losing this thing that made the Sonic games so unique. Because now every game that comes out, Sonic doesn't have his friends, and instead it's Sonic just being Sonic like it was in Sonic 1. But it's failing to realise the series evolved since then. Okay, I get it, not everyone likes the adventure series, fair enough. For me personally, oh my god, unbelievably amazing. But, fair enough. But not just with the adventure series. Look at, like I mentioned, Sonic 3. Look at even Sonic Heroes, which I'm not a big fan of, but you had this element where each character going differently and stuff like that adds so much to the game. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I completed Sonic 3 as a kid growing up on the Mega Drive or Genesis. But how many times I completed Sonic 3 because I played through it as Sonic and it was cool, and I played through it as Knuckles, who was my favourite character at the time until they introduced Amy. But where you got to climb up the side of buildings with his little Knuckles, and you got to glide, and it was like, holy crap, this is an unbelievable way of playing. I mean, as Sonic, I was just doing the speed dash or whatever you want and stuff like that. I was doing that, and I was going around the hoops, I was collecting all that. Cool, it played like Sonic. I play as Knuckles, and it's like, it's a Sonic game, but yet it feels so different. Or plugging Sonic 2 into Sonic and Knuckles and playing as Knuckles in Sonic 2. Unbelievable. Like Sonic, you had to use all the ramps, and you had to go around, and you had to platform, and you had to just figure out, okay, how am I going to do this? But as Knuckles, there were some levels where you could go, kadoom, stick to the side of a wall, climb all the way up and just glide straight past most stuff. And it led to that exploration, or the platforming experience was just changed, because now it wasn't so much, oh look, it's a platforming game and there's not much to do, you're just following a straight line going across the other side. This time it's more like, okay, if you're playing as Sonic, you can go across and go up the springs. If you're playing as Tails, you can fly a bit. If you're playing as Knuckles, you can glide and you can climb your way up to the top. And it makes it more platforming because it's not just one straight line, it's actual levels and platforms and depth to this. And personally speaking, from my own experience, I think Sega really needs to bring back the Friends. I don't know how many people here agree with this, and if you're watching this via like one of the Sonic sites or via the X-Pound, via YouTube, doesn't matter, leave your comment below. I look forward to hearing the other people, or hell, just tweet me. I don't mind. I mean, I like hearing from the Sonic fans. I am at my heart a big Sonic fan. So it boils down to what you as a player look for. And I'll be honest, it does not hurt the gameplay having the Friends there. I mean, again, take the Adventure series. Take out the Friends, you've still got a decent start. You've still got a decent Sonic game at its core. Playing a Sonic, it's still pretty decent. But then, if you want to go through it just in a different way, you can do. Hell, I do not like Big the Cat. And I don't like Silver. I don't like Sonic 06. However, each one of those things I just mentioned, Big, okay, he added fishing. Some people may like that. I personally don't. Some people may. Fair enough. Not a lot of people do with that one, but still. Or let's go on to the other option of Sonic 06. Shadow actually played different to Sonic. He had vehicles and he could just blast stuff with them, and it added sort of like a GTA-ish element to the Sonic series. Cool. Or you go with Silver and you got the from like using the Force to throw shit around. And it wasn't really the Force, but I beg people to play Sonic 06, then play the Force Unleashed. And I'm a big Star Wars fan. I'm probably a bigger Star Wars fan than I may be a Sonic fan. But tell me Silver's gameplay didn't seem like the prototype or the inspiration, if you will, to the Force Unleashed. Yeah, I went there. But the Sonic series, having these elements, it just opens it up and it lets you have so much fun. And right now, I'm not reading anything. I'm just talking from here, from the heart, or from the mind, whichever one you want to go with. And basically, it's an element I just really miss. I mean, like I said, as a kid, I remember sitting down and talking to people when we were playing Sonic and stuff. And I remember at school, me and my friends having a debate. Okay, which character is the best one to play as? Sonic, Tails, Knuckles. It was fun. And I remember when the Adventure series came out, I'm sat back and I'll admit when the Dreamcast came out, a little tiny bit jaded towards some stuff. I was like, I don't know if the Sonic games are going to work in 3D, because I played Sonic 3D on the Mega Drive. Not a fan. No, not a fan. But I remember playing the Adventure game, I turned it on and I'm just like, this is like the greatest thing ever. And I'm playing through Sonic, I'm like, this is great, this is a great Sonic game. They've taken Sonic, they turned him 3D, and it works. It feels like Sonic. I like this. And then suddenly I'm like, wait, I can now play as Knuckles too? Cool, okay. I know how this works. I've played Sonic 3, I know how this works. I'm gonna play as Knuckles, do the same exact levels as Sonic, and just be able to climb shit. And then it's like, you're treasure hunting. I'm like, huh? Nice. And I'm playing through it as Knuckles, and I'm like, I'm really enjoying this. It's different. It's almost like you had with it, where you had in Adventure, you had Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy. I believe you had the robot. Like I said, I forgot the robot's exact number right now because there's been multiple, but you had you at least had 4 or 5. You had, but let's say 4. You had 4 different types of gameplay elements, which, yeah, you had to do them all to get Supersonic, which again, new style of gameplay. But it was almost like you had 4 different games in one, that when they joined up made such a coherent unit. It was, it's hard to explain it in words, but like that new series that's on Netflix right now. People should totally check it out. Of Arrested Development season 4, or Sin City the movie, or some of those Norse style films, or episodic things where, okay, Sonic, he's off doing his own thing. You can watch Sonic's story on its own. Makes sense. A little bit, may need explaining a little tiny bit, but it makes sense. Play Tails, and it's like, same thing. Plays Knuckles, same thing. However, if you play them all, you get such a big picture, and it's like, whoa, so that's how that happened. Or, that's why he got that plane. And it's like, I like that element. And I strongly think we need that element back in the Sonic games. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the games are bad without it. Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations, unbelievably cool. But even Sonic Unleashed, don't really like that game. But even Sonic Unleashed, basically they took Sonic and the Werehog and they tried it again, because it was almost like they realized, hey, you know what, we still need different elements. They just did it wrong in that one. But the friends, each one has different personality, each one different gameplay type. That's cool. It made the games unique. But I think I've gone on this maybe a little too long. I can look down at the duration of this, and it's about 11-12 minutes. So yeah, I shall end it here. Leave me again. Tweet me, leave reply on any forums you see it on, or shoot a reply on YouTube. Anything. I'm interested. How do you, as an individual, feel about the friend subject? It's an important subject, and it's one that needs debating on, or at least bringing to light more that these friends are needed. Some people miss these friends, myself included. So, yeah. As always, I've been your host, Chriz, aka The Mole. See ya.